Hi, you're here with Maria and welcome to That Thursday vlog. Today it is World Book Day. What I thought I would do today is to have a look at some of the books that have been family favourites. Now, before I start out, I need to say sorry to my son Jacob, who, as he saw me racing around the house looking for books, said, "Flat Stanley." I can't find it anywhere, Jake, so I'm really sorry, but I do know that Flat Stanley was one of those books that we loved and that we read, and that it was such a beautiful part of his childhood. And so much so that, you know, at 17, tough 17-year-old, mentioned that I should talk about Flat Stanley. So can't find the book, but it definitely was a family favourite. These two have really great memories for me. They are obviously baby books. I think this one we may have had for Jake, and this one was definitely one that we got for Joey. This one especially was fabulous. This was you know, one of those books you learn off by heart by the end of it. So yeah, they were really lovely. The next book is one my friend Jen put me onto. We were in is it Borders? A Borders bookstore in the Macquarie Centre. Jen said, "Have you ever read this book?" And it's called The Giving Tree. And I hadn't. I had never read the book. And I remember standing there just crying as I read it. And it says, "To Joey, this is a much loved tale of mine." Oh, I'm gonna cry. "I hope that you grow to enjoy it as much as I do." It says, "Once there was a tree and she loved a little boy. Every day the boy came to eat her apples, climbed her trunk and sleep in her shade. But as the boy grew older, he began to want more, and so the tree gave and gave." Loved for many years by children and adults alike, this classic story about the gift of love will stay with you forever. So if you're looking to give a child a book as a present, I recommend this one. Read it first. Just, you know, it might not be your cup of tea. The next book is one I pull out and read to myself every now and then. It is a book that I quote from so often, both verbally and on people's Facebook statuses and things like that. And no doubt many of you will love it too. It's The Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. And what I love about this book, that it is a reminder that life is a roller coaster ride, and life doesn't promise us that everything is going to be easy, and life doesn't promise us that we are not going to have any hard times, and life doesn't promise us that we aren't going to go through times that scare the bejeebers out of us. And that is what I love about this book, that it reminds us that no matter what season that we're going through, that it's okay, that we will go through those seasons, that other people have been through those seasons and survived, and to always be true and integrous to who we are and what we value during those seasons as well, I think is the other thing that I take away from this book. But to know that we are going to fail, it's okay to make mistakes, and we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off. Kiana, I'm talking to you in the cardboard chair, and just get on with things again. A much loved one by people everywhere, no doubt. This little collection of books, while it isn't curriculum, it is one that we have actually used as part of our home education. But it's really lovely, and you know, you don't have to do it like that. You could just enjoy it as the books that it's meant to be. But I actually found it a really lovely thing to do with Joey when he was younger, and it was just a lovely series of books, really. And it's called The Nature Year. I'm not sure that they're all in there, so don't count. But it goes through the year, month by month, and it tells you the different things that are happening the world over, what's going on in the different seasons, and with animals and wildlife and insects. And it was just a lovely way of learning about nature, I suppose. The next book is one that, after my friend Susie recommended it to me. Don't you just love book-loving friends? I know I do. And it's called A Street Through Time. And I love this because what it does, what it says on the tin, and it takes a street just from anywhere, and it takes you through what that street would have looked like at various times in history. So that was the Stone Age. I've skipped forward. Viking Raiders. The Age of Elegance. No Kardashians in that one. and then A Street Today. And I just thought it was a really lovely way of looking at history through the ages. The next series of books, my sister put me onto when we were back in Australia in 2013. Her daughter, my niece, Katie Kitten, she's too old to be called that, loved this series of books. And so when we were there, we managed to find them and buy them and bring them home with us in a suitcase. You know, excess luggage and all of that. This isn't the first one of the series, but it is one of the series. And Joey has really loved these books. I think the things that we liked about them were that they were engaging. If you are somebody like me and you get bored very easily and don't like repetitive things, then you will like this book, because as you can see, as you go through the pages, there are different colours to the words, and there are little things happening, like words go in funny sequences, different colours, different fonts, little pictures throughout, different ways of presenting the story. And we both found it really intriguing to read. Me, because I can just get bored easily, and that's just the way my brain works. I am not very good at repetitive activity at all. We both really liked those. Geronimo Stilton, not just Geronimo Stilton, who is an investigative journalist, but also his sister Thea. So there's the two series there that you can get involved in. The next author, we actually listened to loads of his audiobooks when the kids were little. He's an Australian author and his name is Morris Gleitzman. What I love about this guy is that he takes some really serious issues. So this one is about a Jewish boy. The back of it says, "Once I escaped from an orphanage to find mum and dad. Once I saved a girl, Zelda, from a burning house. And once I made a Nazi with a toothache laugh." Everybody deserves to have something good in their life, at least once. Morris Gleitzman takes serious times in history, takes serious topics that children come across, like illness, disability, historical events, and he writes a story that a child will relate to and from a child's perspective. So he doesn't gloss over the seriousness of life and the things that break our children's hearts and break our hearts. He just looks at them from the perspective of a child. It is a precious, precious perspective. I thought that these were great growing up. I say growing up when I grew up with my kids. I think books like this are brilliant for teaching resilience. It doesn't shield children from the things that can go wrong in life. It presents them to them in a way they can relate to and find childlike solutions for dealing with them, for working through them emotionally and going on and overcoming in life. And so I think Morris Gleitzman's books are great for kids and adults alike. I think I'm up to my last one, and I'm not sure whether I've chosen it because I love it or because our kids loved it. Some of them loved it more than others. I think because it was then made into a TV series, it really got them hooked. The Caroline Lawrence Roman Mystery Series. Now this is The Thieves of Ostia, The Secrets of Vesuvius and The Pirates of Pompeii. I could be a bit biased because one of my favorite genres of books to read is historical fiction. Anything that can present history in a way that engages you so you don't even know that you're learning history is a good thing, and that's what Caroline Lawrence's books did for me. Books that we have loved on World Book Day 2018. Why don't you leave for me in the comments below what was one of your favorite childhood books, and if you can't remember one, why don't you tell me a book that you're reading about at the moment? If you've got a new one for me that you think an 11-year-old boy might like, then yeah, leave it below. That would be great. So I've been Maria, you've been awesome, and yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.